All right, so for this next bit, I really want to talk about your overall business model. Now, sometimes we get so fixated on individual tasks, on individual things to do, that we completely forget about the overall big picture and where everything we're doing actually fits in. So, if you're working on an online course, for instance, a lot of people taking this course, EDUpreneurs, what part of your whole business model does that online course actually fit into? Maybe your online course is simply going to be a freebie to act as a lead magnet to bring people into your overall products and services. Maybe you're not an educator as such. Perhaps you don't actually really, online courses are not going to form part of the income for your business. Perhaps you do something else. Maybe you're a web developer. Maybe you sell makeup products. Maybe you are a pet groomer. Maybe you are a consultant in something. What you can do is use your online courses to promote and sell those products and services. So are your courses going to form that element? Maybe your online courses are your primary source of income and, are the main function of your business. Maybe your online courses simply act as tasters to other training programs that you have, bigger versions of those same online courses. So you can see here how we really need to get this idea straight from the beginning so that we can build our products and our services in a way that complement that growth, that journey that our customers will go on. Far too often people just sort of have bright shiny object syndrome. They see, go and create an online course. Woohoo, I'm going to go create an online course. And they have no idea why they're actually going to go and build an online course. Why are you doing all the things that you're doing? Look at all the marketing you're doing. Someone jumps up at you and says, you should be using Twitter. So you go, oh, okay. And you spend loads of time working on Twitter without actually thinking about how that Twitter is going to be used in your overall marketing process to actually achieve your objective, the overall outcome of why your business is operating. You need to know why you're moving for, why you're, where you're actually going, so that you can then use all of your stuff on your to-do list as the how of actually getting there. So we want to paint a picture then of what does this bigger business model actually look like for you? What are your sort of lead generation activities? Do you have things that are what we call bottom of funnel? This means, do you have free blogs and articles? Do you have free videos on YouTube, for instance? Do you have free taster courses, free webinars? Do you have a free ebook? Do you have free checklists? Do you go and do free talks? I'm not saying that you should be doing these things, but what I'm trying to get you to think of is, how do you actually present yourself or connect with your audience in the first instance? How do people find you, discover you, initially get exposed to you? So I'm not saying it has to be free stuff, by the way. What I'm saying here is there needs to be something that's easily accessible, that doesn't have a wall that people need to knock down, that's really simple for people to get hold of in order to get access to you, in order to find out who you are, what your expertise is, to see that you have expertise. So what is that for you? So for me, just to give you some example, as an edupreneur, for me, this is my free webinars. It's very cheap versions of my online courses. So I've got my big online courses. What I might do is create like a $25 version. It's just a selection, just a taster. And I put those up on marketplaces like Udemy, give people a good taster. I also have like a sort of traditional, it's traditional for me, my sort of flagship webinar, if you like. They all bring people to me without them having to do anything. I have all of my blogs and articles that go out. I constantly release short videos on YouTube. This way people can find me. I then use all of this content that I'm building, like my webinars, my YouTubes, my articles, and so on. And I constantly make sure they're being released on social media all of the time, across all of the platforms that I know my audience are hanging out at, so that I'm maximizing as many opportunities for people to find me as possible, but also to have a really clear, good idea of what I do, as well as a very clear taste of my skills and expertise. So they may want to follow me further. So what is your bottom of funnel stuff, first of all? I call these welcome opportunities. So that's the first thing I want you to write down, is what is your welcome set of opportunities that, remember, they're there purely to lead people up to your bigger products and services, whether that's online courses or other services entirely. Because if you don't know how they actually relate, then what you're going to do is be attracting people to your lists that perhaps aren't necessarily going to turn into buyers. So make sure that your welcome opportunities, your stuff, is directly related to that far end upsell product. So, I do little videos on online course creation, online course marketing that hopefully will lead people up to using my high end do it for you, do it with you course creation and course marketing services. The second thing is you need to be focusing on what your income generating products and services actually are. Here's me talking about bottom of funnel stuff, the cheap and the free. And what happens is we can get so obsessed with making sure we've got all these lead magnets and free stuff and free marketing out there that we actually forget we need to make a profitable business. One of the things that happens is we get quite fearful of the making the money part sometimes, because it can make us feel like we're being greedy, or getting this balance right between having a business and having a hobby. But we do need to make sure this is profitable. So once you know what your welcome opportunities are, what then are your income generating products and services? So I'd like you to write down a list of all the things that make you money. Is it a certain course? Is it a certain service? Is it a certain product? How do you make cash? I want you to list those things down and then create a progressive buying journey for each individual thing. So let's pretend you've got a service. So let me give you my example. One of my services is to help people create their online courses. So we can do everything from helping them plan out their course right the way through to setting up their online school, actually writing their course for them, and everything else in between. So what I mean by progressive buying journey is, can you make a cheap version of said service, a middle priced version of that service, and a higher priced version of that service? And importantly, can you make them logical in the way people can progress through those? I.e., maybe one is literally step 1, and then they can move up to step 2, and then they can move up to step 3. So this is where you are actually creating a pathway or a journey for your people that can keep on buying from you over and over again. So unlike the package model, which I'll talk about next, this isn't literally have this one, or this one. It's first you do this step, then you buy this thing, then you buy this thing, then you buy this thing. So you are literally growing people and, importantly, keeping them as what's called a lifetime customer. If your product at the moment only offers one step option, you're only going to get one payment from them. So look at the product or service that you have on offer right now and go, actually, how can I break this down into a number of steps so that they can stay with me for a much longer period of time and buy from me more frequently? The next thing is to then actually create packages. So your packages are then going to be looking at each of those steps, right? And in each step, breaking down package options that they can have. So step 1, it's the beginning, it's the start of the journey. Do they want option 1, 2, or 3? Cheap, middle price, or high priced? Then they go up to step 2. They buy another thing from you, or they go to the next stage. Again, step 2 has buying option 1, 2, or 3, low price, middle price, high price. So what you're doing each time is you're maximizing the buying opportunity for your customer, because you may have customers that, yes, they want to start step 1, but some of them have no budget and want to do some stuff themselves. Some of them have a massive budget and don't want to do any of it, and so are willing to pay more for you to just take all the work off their plate. So by giving people different pricing options and different outcome options that they can choose from is going to make it much more likely for them to actually buy from you. So this adds me on to the next thing, which is the menu factor. I'm going to talk about this in another video, but this also, by giving them clear packages, gives them very distinct things to choose, because people are crap at making decisions, right? And I'll talk about that in another video. So concise packages. Now, what I mean by the high tier options is that obviously you need to be making sure that each of these steps and stages go to the biggest thing that you offer. So you've got all of your welcome things, your cheap things. What is the really expensive top end, top of the range, where you ultimately would love to get every single customer up to? This is your highest price product and service. So by having that in mind, you can better plan the stages and the steps and the mini packages on the way and in between. And then as we go through your bigger business model, now we know where we're going, we know the journey we're going to take our customers on, and we can start now building out the packages that we have on each of those stages. We need to start thinking about how can we systemize this so effectively that we can almost remove ourselves from the process. How can we make moving that customer from stage 1 to stage 2 happen automatically, happen without us being involved, happen so seamlessly that it happens while we're sleeping? And this is what I call the franchise business model. Now, it doesn't matter which Macca's I go to. By theory, I should get the same burger made in the same way with the same ingredients, the same taste every single time, right? I'm not saying let's all go out and have Macca's. What I'm saying is because they have created a system whereby the same process happens every single time. So every customer who goes through that and buys that product gets the exact same experience, who gets the exact same result, with predictability. That is what creates repeat customers. It's that predictability that creates loyal fans and keeps people coming back for more. If they get a great service that was seamless and fast and automatic in stage 1, they're going to move to stage 2 and in between. So, working out how can you make this as sort of packaged and systemized as you possibly can. Now, I do have a whole other course on systemization, and you'll be pleased to know it's going to be part of a whole other challenge that we're doing. So I'm not going to get into this too much, but I want you to start putting your head in this space right now so that you're going to make your life as easy for yourself as possible as you grow. At the moment, this business might be just you. That's fine. Maybe in the future, you might want a virtual assistant to help you. Like if you have no other aspirations than to just be you and a VA, still, even if it is just you, you still need to have systems in place to make sure that your customers have the same experience every time. Maybe you have aspirations to become a huge company. Getting this right today will make sure that your future self thanks you just massively for making this happen. And then, of course, for each of those different stages, you need to have an entire network of marketing. A lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking, well, if I build a thing and I just, I produce a product and I put it on my website or put the course on my online school, the customers will come. Wrong. That is not what happens. The point is, it just means you have something on a website or an online course sat on an online school. You need to make sure that not only are you marketing throughout the entire process, but you're marketing continuously and consistently. So by now we know where we're ultimately trying to take people to, where we're ultimately trying to get to. We know all the stages in between. What marketing efforts do you need to put in place to make that happen? What marketing do you need to put in place to actually get people to your welcome opportunities? What marketing do you need in place to get them to move from the welcome opportunity to stage 1? Okay, so you can see here how you need to step back a bit before we start going into the growth details to understand exactly what it is that you're trying to do, so that with this higher perspective picture, you can really start to plan out a much more macro design. Get yourself some pen and paper, stick it up on the wall, and actually draw this out like a big map. This will really help you work out where you need to go next and where you need to spend your time. So I hope this has given you a much clearer idea now as to where we need to start focusing in terms of growth. And hopefully will give you some ideas about your growth packages. Now, in all of these, I go into way more detail in my Entrepreneur's Business Development Program. I actually take you through how to create these packages, how to create these stages, how to do some of this marketing to make this as automated as possible. In the systemization course, which is actually included in the Entrepreneur's Business Development Program, I take you through actually making this work for your business. So I hope that gives you a good start. I've broken my own rule of the video time here, so I hope I haven't bored you too much and I've still got some of you on board. But I'd like you now to go away and think about what are your welcome opportunities, list down all of your income generating products and services, try and break them down into steps and stages, then try and create individual 3-part packages for each stage, and then try and map out for each one what marketing strategies you're going to use to get people in at the welcome opportunities end, and then moving up the stages within your actual system itself. Good luck. If you need any help, do feel free to come on over to the Entrepreneur to EDUpreneur Facebook group and post your questions. See ya.